Hey, Vegito Blue here. If you want to see other Shonen Jump manga content and much more.
You know, I've never really been a fan of Broly. I understood why people liked him. It made sense. He had almost all the features. Wait, give me a second. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, Broly. I understand why people liked him, but I never really liked him as much. He had all the features of something of stuff that people loved about Dragon Ball Z. First of all, people for some reason, even the guys, love characters with no shirts in Dragon Ball Z. So that's one. They love big, bulky people. They love when characters go pupilless. That's three. They love when characters are insane and just go on havocs. That's four. They love when a character just destroys the main cast, including Goku. A lot of people have a hate boner for Goku just because he won so many fights, even though he doesn't. He really even doesn't. Only in Dragon Ball. That's five. People love Saiyans. That's six. People love evil characters in general. That's seven. People love new Super Saiyan forms. That's eight. People love scary maniacal voices. That's nine, I think. People love characters like long returning characters that aren't really stuck in their time and place. And people love the fact that Broly in the English dub said that his power keeps like rise and go whatever, so it instantly keeps growing. So people love that. For a lot of debate in the future against people like, Superman and all that garbage. So when people only watch the English dub, they think Broly can get infinitely stronger, therefore he can fight almost anybody, as long as the fight reaches a certain time, just like the Hulk. So that makes them like him even more, because he can be used in debates, which people love doing. And lastly, ever since Battle of Gods came out, people love Gods of Destruction in general. Even now, they love it. And if you look at Broly's outfit, it slightly, very, 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 very slightly resembles a God of Destruction outfit. Especially that little neck thing he has. It's just like a smaller golden version of, what God's Destruction has. And people love that too. So when you put that all together in one bunch, one bundle, it's just crazy. People just lose their minds over it. Especially in the Latin world, Broly is just, his fan base is insane. And then in like the Americas, I'd say it's mostly Vegeta and Gohan, which people lose their minds for. And obviously in Japan, it's mostly Goku. It's just Goku's everywhere. And they don't mind liking the main characters like we would try to avoid. So I've always understood why people like Broly. I just not as much as I didn't like him as much as people liked him. He was like a better version of Android 13. Everybody, you don't really see people that even talk about Android 13, but they're similar. So I never really got that. But nowadays, from seeing Kale and seeing all this stuff that's happening, I'm starting to appreciate Broly more. I'm starting to appreciate the classic Broly more, not like Bio Broly, and you know what I mean. Just the future versions of Broly is like Dragon Ball Hero versions and stuff, and Raging Blast 2. I didn't like his Super Saiyan 3 and Raging Blast 2. It was way, way too green. It was disgusting. And I don't like his Great Ape form where like it's your split like Trunks kind of. I'm not a fan of that. But Broly in the movies, he is a G, and I'm starting to appreciate him more after what KO did. Her bullshit ass pose. I thought Broly, one reason why I never used to like him as much is his power was too much for that moment, and it made no sense just why the legendary Super Saiyan transformation was such a huge boost. His regular Super Saiyan form could barely hurt base Goku, and now his legendary Super Saiyan form could beat like 4 Super Saiyans and the Super Namekian. That was crazy. Not even 4 Super Saiyans, 4 full-powered Super Saiyans, and grade 4s and sub grade 3s. So that never really made sense. That's like that was more than basically a Super Saiyan 3 times multiplied. People don't realize that when he went Super Saiyan with the purple/blue hair, Goku's base was still dodging attacks, so he wasn't that strong in his base. And that's obvious. Look at the way he looked. So I wasn't really a fan of his bullshit ass pose, but then after that we get the Buu Saga, and the ass pose and the Buu Sagas are so retarded. Like, I love the Buu Saga, but Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks made no sense. We just learned to accept it. Goten and Trunks having Super Saiyan, that was completely dumb. Completely special ed. Well, people just learn to accept it because Dragon Ball Z is such a classic. People don't like to attack it because they get attacked. Tien freaking blasting away Super Buu Gotenks absorbed fucking blast that was gonna destroy the planet. I think that was dumb. That made no sense. That was much worse than the semi-perfect cell one, which is a ritual. And super semi-perfect cell is literally less than 1% of Super Buu Gotenks absorbed. Much less. Honestly, that's an understatement. It's like 0.001 considering Super Saiyan 2. Because grade 4 Gohan is already like 3 times stronger than a semi-perfect cell. maybe even more. And then multiply that times 2 plus a Rage Boost, and that equals Super Perfect Cell. And then after that, Majin Buu is like 4 to 5 times stronger, considering Goku Super Saiyan 3 is only a little bit stronger than Majin Buu. And Majin Buu is, well, he has the powers of basically 3 Super Saiyan 2s and a little bit more, considering it's a Gohan drive, the Majin Vegeta and Goku fight. That explains why Goku Super Saiyan 3 is slightly stronger. And we know Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan 2 just slightly passed Super Saiyan 2 Gohan with the Rage Boost and the Cell games. So then after multiplying times 3, just add a little bit more. So Fat Buu is like freaking like 5 times, let's say, stronger than Super Perfect Cell. And then he splits in half and then Super Buu eats him up. And then now Super Buu is basically equal to Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, who is freaking 8 times stronger than Super Saiyan 1 Gotenks, who Goku, and Goku knows the power of fusion, who said that he could have beaten Fat Buu. So already Super Saiyan Gotenks is like Super Saiyan 3 Goku, plus the time chamber training, plus Super Saiyan 3. Super Buu is the very least 10 times stronger than Fat Buu. 10 times, that's bare minimum. And then obviously Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is the same strength as him. So then put them both together, so that's 20 times. And I didn't forget about Piccolo. Piccolo adds a little bit, but not too much. But the more important part is his brain. So that increases not his power, but his presence even more. He can outsmart you now. He has a different aspect of fighting. He can trick you, tactics. And don't get me started on Majin Buu's Rage Boost. They're Gohan level / even more. I don't think he did after his anger plus Gohan's combined, and he was basically going to destroy the dimension / universe. That was freaking scary. But yeah, you get my point, right? Super Buu Gotenks Absorbed is literally thousands and thousands of times stronger than Tien, so it was just special edit. Even in the Cell Saga, that part, Semi Perfect Cell was hundreds upon hundreds of times stronger than Tien, and now the gap was even worse in the Buu Saga. So that was just stupid when he did that. And then there was even more assholes, but in Buu Saga, but whatever, we'll just let that go. My main point is, after seeing those types of assholes, I realized the Broly one was not that bad, honestly. It's been much worse. Even Buu himself is hacks, but whatever. Just in terms of turning people into candy absorption, infinite healing, freaking magic, all of that. But yeah, I keep sidetracking. My main point is, after a while I started getting a liking towards Broly, and then Super also has like a lot of assholes. It's the Battle of Gods arc, not really. Resurrection F arc, Frieza's power was a decent asshole, but we learned to accept that a little bit too. At first, people were losing their minds about when the movie came out, but then we slowly start to accept it. The Universe 6 arc, yeah, like Kaba and stuff, it makes sense. And then Future Trunks arc, that's when it slowly started with, like, you know, just Trunks in general, freaking Black changing from Super Saiyan 2 Goku to being able to beat Blue Vegeta without even transforming and stuff like that. And then right after that, after like one return, their blue forms are basically equal to Black / a little less, which made no sense. That made no sense how they got strong that fast, and then them being able to fight Murder Zamasu without fusion, and like actually being able to break through some of its attacks, and then Trunks' final strike. I love it in terms of like what they meant, the symbolism, but power scaling wise, it made no sense. But I do love the biblical type story, considering the last Future Trunks arc was so technological. I love the scene in the end where he's like, where will you run off to, the humans or what? And then he's like, I help my family and friends survive. Well, I fight so they can survive, and they fight so I can survive. We help each other live. That's what makes us human. And the Spirit Bomb Sword, all of that. I love the symbolism wise, but power scaling wise, it makes no sense. And now in this tournament arc, I don't want to get started. So long story short, especially Kale, which is my main point. It's maybe to understand I should have appreciated Broly, because Kale makes no sense. We have more backstory on Broly than we do her, and that's sad. And he's a freaking movie character. And the Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha, I understand you can say Goku was holding back. I truly do think he was holding back Super Saiyan 3. There's kids watching the show that don't understand like the key control of Blue and what he's doing in general. So that was just dumb. But yeah, my main point is, yeah, I need to appreciate Broly. Broly is a god. Broly is a savage. I feel bad for bashing on him a lot. He's not my favorite character or anything, but I do appreciate him much more than I did before. But that's about it. I'm the Holy Dream. Looks like it's time to wake up, and I catch another dream. Bye.